I will have my talk in English. In fact, when we look at the questions, how could Turkish custom union membership without EU membership shed light for Kyrgyzstan or for Eurasian Union custom union issue? Even we should ask, could it be an example? Could it shed light for that? And my answer is yes. But at the first instance, you can see that it could be irrelevant because we are talking about European Union and Turkish membership. Even Turkey is not a member of the European Union yet. Still, the negotiations continue, and it will take some more time, even if there is a road and for union membership. But my case is here. First, the European Union is the very sui generis organization, international organization in the world. The second, Turkish custom union membership of the EU is again a sui generis because except Turkey, well, if you do not care about Andorra as a miniature country, Turkey is the only country member of the European Union custom union, but not a member of the European Union yet. And almost 20 years since we are right now in 2014, Turkey has become the member of the custom union in 1996. And I remember very well this day since I have been at the university. We have witnessed such a case in the media, in the public. There has been such a hegemony of mind that Turkey has almost become the member of the European Union, or in a very short time we will become the member of the European Union. And we have witnessed the same case after the negotiations started in 2005. And there was such a case again that in 1.5 year time, something like that, we will be, that it did not work. So then we could ask, what is the meaning of all this process? If it is not going well, and if it does just takes too much time, then we should question about that part. First of all, what does EU make as a sui generis case? Because it is not a dead end project. We are not talking about European Union as an international organization with very clear boundaries. Even when we are talking about the European Union, we are talking about a process that's still going on. When you take about its economic part, you see that not all the members of the Union is part of the Eurozone. It doesn't mean that the countries which have fragile economies, yes, part of the membership, you have to settle your economy quite well established, but we have seen that after the 2006 global financial crisis that started in the United States, when it passed the Atlantic, then we have witnessed that European Union members do have very fragile economies, even including the very quote-unquote powerful ones, including Spain, including Italy. Even it has been somewhat problematic that we witness. France is such a case too, but Ireland and Portugal, they have been quite much more well-known stories. But as you see, British economy is much more better doing than all of them, but it's not part of the Eurozone, or it is not part of the Schengen visa. What makes European Union as a very specific case? When we come about Turkish sui generis case, think about a country. Since I'm its citizen, and the story is much more longer than my age, of course, Turkey is trying to be member of the European Union, which starts with the European Community or European Economic Community, but the story goes further beyond half a century. And when you just look at, you are trying to be part of a club, and you are waiting at its door more than 50 years, and you are not taken inside, you are not welcomed even. So that if you just look at through this point, this is a full failure. But for my own idea, I do not find it as a failure because there have been quite much psychological effects. First of all, Turkish orientation, if it will be a case for the Kyrgyz orientation for USA, then we have to talk about this issue that either you become a member or not. This is not the case. But what you learn on the path towards this union membership. It's something like that. You are aiming to run a marathon, which is 42 kilometers, 195 meters, but you just fall on, even you cannot succeed it. But on this way, if you just run 10 kilometers, I'm giving this example, then when you go back, when you look at, when you have run 10 kilometers, and even this is an amazing thing. And for Turkey, within that time, this is a very amazing thing, because European Union has been quite a motivation figure for at the political perspective for its democracy, for its economy. It has put down such a rules that Turkey is now talking about that we have survived this economic crisis, even the European countries could not. And even we are successfully handling our economy in a very, quote-unquote, in a European way. So this shows that it is not just a story of a failure, but in fact you have learned a lot. Yes, on the paper, also I do agree with that. When you think that even if you try to become a member of a golf club, and if you couldn't, then it means that it's the worst. But as I have mentioned, psychological effects, then we have to talk about. It is not just with the European Union, but it is a very whole idea of this Europeanization and what it means for Turkey, Westernization, which has not started with the Turkish Republic over the last 50 years, but it has roots about 150 years, starting with the late Ottoman Turkish modernization process, which is very European in fact. And within this context, Turkey has been sick, quote-unquote, I'm saying, sick man of Europe, but Europe. Not a sick man or a powerful man of somewhere else. Even within this context, as you know in English, when you are delineating a country as a proposition, you put as a feminine. But we are talking about that Turkey as a man here, so still it shows the power and its orientation about masculine. And then within this part, Turkey has puts its ideas and its mentality towards Europe, towards Westernization. And this has become the crystallization of memberships in the Western organizations. And again, quote unquote, I am saying, European Union has been the red apple of Turkey to succeed. Since Turkey has become the members of all Western organizations, that it has applied and it has become members, including OECD or NATO. After succeeding all of it, there is only one organization still lacking that we far beyond, that is the European Union. And so it has become such an issue for Turkey to help. And when Turkey was offered the way round, first get into the customs union, then in fact it is not something very new or before the 18 years ago, because there has been such a project in 22 years time. Turkey would be part of the customs union, and at that time European community, which was not called as European Union, in 22 years time. Well, such a long project has put Turkey to do its homework, and we could say that Turkey has quite much lacked of this motivation or enthusiasm to do that, and Turkey almost did not do its work in this 20 years. Well, you could blame the global economy or the global political crisis of the era of the Cold War years at that time, but it is not just the answer, because Turkey was not that much motivated since the beginning, as called Ortak Pazar in Turkey, which was blamed as Turkey would be just the market for the European powers, but then they would be just the part, the Europe would be the part. So the lacking thing was the full motivation. And the other thing we have to talk at the beginning in our Vice Rector's Nevzat Bey's speech, he said that at the last instance, this customs union or economic, this is a very economic issue. Well, I would look through a very Leninist perspective. Economy is the crystallization of politics, in fact. This is we are very sure about it. And there is no freight zone, at least in its way to get succeed. Free trade zone starts with the economy, but it ends up with the common political systems. And it follows through customs union. Then it becomes an economic area. Then they establish common monetary politics. Then it ends up with the common political system that we are talking, at least at the federal levels. And we have seen that for the European community, it has started with the European Coal and Steel Association, which has started to very political, not just economic, of course, to end up the opening path for the another world war, because the first two world wars between France and Germany was too much based on this coal and steel issue. So it is not just to take it through the economic side, but it's very political for the peace of the world. So when we are talking about economy, in fact, we are totally talking about politics that we have to see. And for Turkish motivation to become either customs union of the European Union or European Union membership is not just one way of economy, it is very much political, and this psychological motives is that to become part of the Europe and to become a better world. And through this example, if we take it, what has changed in Turkey after Turkey has become the customs union member? There has been a lot of worse propaganda that Turkey will not be able to survive in such an economic system, that we will run out of the... Well, it did not happen. What Turkey has learned, it's something like to learn swimming, they throw you to water, and Turkey has been thrown to the ocean, in fact, in this case. But Turkey has survived. And because it's something like, it's a very organic thing. In order to survive, then you have to strive a lot. Think Turkey, if we did not get into the European Union, a partial customs union, then Turkey would be surrounded by this high tariff force again, and we wouldn't need to develop ourselves, both in mentality, since I'm talking about the psychological effect. The second, our service quality, our product quality, and our mentality has changed. Just as an example from my hometown, also where I lecture, Konya, it's in the very middle of the Turkey. I talked with the businessmen, industrialists, and I asked them, what standards do you use? And they all answered me that we use CE European standards. And I asked them, do you export all these products to Europe? They say mostly no. Then I asked them, then why are you trying? Well, at least we are trying to produce the best quality that we can. So they are not taking TCE, Turkish Standards Institute standardization, which is not low quality, of course, but they are taking a CE. So this is, in fact, quote unquote, even without quotes, it is a mentality revolution. So if we take it as an example, maybe at the beginning of my speech, when you have read the title of my talk, this may sound quite irrelevant, but in fact it is very relevant for Kyrgyzstan. If Kyrgyzstan or any country within this customs union of the Eurasian Union, if they do not have a better or their own standardization, so this will help them to change the mentality. Well, for Kyrgyzstan, and this is a country, for me it's a special country, because the first country that I have been abroad for my conference and where I have stepped. The second, this is the first country where I have lectured for 1.5 years as working abroad. So in 10 years' time, what has changed in Kyrgyz economy since I am back here and your time, I have been here 5 times at least. So I do not see that about the almost I can say no much change. So in order to give a change, it's not just blaming. Please do not take it as an insult, but to make a critic of what has Kyrgyz have put on the world economy about. Well, if about the either service sector for the Kazakhs, well, since they have oil and uranium, whatever all the cases, they are much more rich doing about the case, but it is not something that they are producing. But so, for my own case, if for Kyrgyzstan, as for Turkey, it may have to change such a mentality revolution, and if it will take you to upper standards, then why? This is my conclusion about that. And in this case, yes, about the negotiation process, as you will remember, if you are following the press at least, Turkey and Croatia has started negotiations together, and Croatia has concluded 35 chapters and has become a member in the mid-2013. But Turkey has just closed 1 chapter. This is really and self-insult even with that. Yes, France and Cyprus Republic has blocked Turkish some of the chapters, but the number for the timing, if I am not wrong, is 14 as the number of the chapters. But here, even for the since the beginning of the negotiations, the motivation among the Turkish society to become European Union membership is coming down. But what I see is that Turkey has become part of as mental about its product, its service level, its wherever they have such a quality perspective. If we are doing it better than the Europeans or in general in Westerners or not, well, you can see it at the service sector of Turkey, at the product sector of the Turkey, and even within the Central Asia, Turkey is known as, yes, they are doing producing such a quality close to the European Union standard or European standard, and they are doing it much more cheaper. And especially in the tourism sector, which is very at the core of the service sector in everywhere. So you see that how this mentality changed in Turkey. And among this, so if for the Kyrgyz case, if it will take the standards upward, then why not to get into the customs union of anywhere, if it is within the Eurasian Economic Community or somewhere. Thank you very much for your patience.